Alright everyone, I got the pin vise out. Right here. I haven't used one of those in a while. I've been using too many handy drill. This is too delicate. I got a hole drilled in this thing. Let's do some zooming so you guys will be able to see, because this is kind of small. Alright, here's the part. Here's the pin. That pin goes in there about 1/4 of an inch. Okay? That needle goes in there about 1/4 of an inch. You can see it. On the command cruiser itself, it goes in quite a bit further. Okay? Let's get the camera where you can see that. Now, the bad part is I have no idea if the holes are aligned right. You can see that pin goes in there just fine. I have no idea if those holes are aligned right. I need to cut this pin and glue it in there. I'm going to use super glue for this, not plastic glue, because plastic glue won't bind to that metal of the pin, whereas super glue will. And I got to cut the pin length just right for this to work properly. When it's done, I'm going to have a teeny bit of seam filling. I'm going to be really careful with it. I'm just going to break it right off again. And we'll see. Anyhow, back in a second once I get this cut to length and I'm satisfied with it. Alright everyone, I got pinning done. Let me show you what it looks like. I didn't use the needle. I went into my metal stores and found some piano wire. This stuff that was the exact same size as the drill bit I was using. And I cut a piece of it. It's going to fit snugger. Better. I glued her in with some super glue. I don't think the alignment's 100% correct, but we'll do some zoom in so you guys can take a look. There's the undamaged side. Here's the damaged side. Okay? Here, let's flip her this way so we get the same light out of it. I don't think the alignment's that bad on it. I really don't. Okay? And since I use super glue and there's a metal rod in there, I think it's going to be a lot stronger. Alignment's off a little bit. Yes, I can see it. There's the damaged side, the undamaged side. It's not going to look 100% the same, but I bet if I sand that and do some other stuff, I'm going to be able to. And with that metal rod in there, it's a heck of a lot stronger than it was. Yeah. So, I'm going to be able to fix it. That's happiness. I'm going to let that cure overnight. Tomorrow, I'm going to sand it a little bit. I put a little bit of extra super glue in there so it's raised up a little bit. I know once that super glue cures up all the way, it's going to be the devil to remove. Yeah, I can feel the ridge right there. But I'd rather have done that and have to hit it with some sanding sticks and sand it smooth than have to mess with it too much. Pretty sure that repair is going to show no matter what I do. But at least it's repaired. And I don't feel too bad about it right now. So, I will be back on this one really soon. As you can tell, she's been primered up, and I'm using some really nice primer on that. We'll talk about the primer when I get the Brocchieri Cruiser up and done. I'm going to glue the last two parts on her tomorrow, so she'll be ready to start seeing some paint soon. Yeah, I can see that's off on alignment just a teeny bit, but not much I can do about it. That's the best repair I was going to get. Small delicate parts like that are hard to fix. Alright, back later. As you can see, I got Dessloks in front of me. I want to show you guys something. I did some repair work, and you saw that in the last segment on this side here. And we're going to do a zoom in so we can do some comparing. Okay? What do you guys think? I think it came out really nice. You can see there's a slight bend. I didn't get it quite aligned perfectly. Not 100% perfect. but it's going to be one of those that someone with their native eye probably won't catch that well. Okay? I know it's there. I see it. But again, the casual person may not. And it's strong enough I can sand it, which makes me really happy. So if I get a break like that again, I know I'm going to use a pin on it. But it's not that far off center. So what's up next for Desslok's? Paint, of course. It's time to start painting her. So what I'm going to do is take this, go to the spray booth, taking the camera with me. I'm going to show you guys painting this up. So I'll be back in a few minutes. We're going to fire up the paint booth. It's the first time I painted something in 6 months, maybe more. Needs to be done. I'm itching to get the paintbrush out and get painting. So back in a little bit. Alright everyone, this is a new camera angle for the spray booth. I think it's going to work really well. You're going to be able to see everything I do. I got a camera mount put on the side of the spray booth. Spider-Man bubble bath. It's going to be my practice. Because I'm going to show you a couple of things. First off, this is my old trusty airbrush. It's a Pache VL. Okay, here, this will be the best way to show you. This is the airbrush box. This is one I've been using for a while. It was kind of my beginner airbrush. It's VL. I'm not sure what model number it is because it doesn't say on there. It just says VL set. Okay, it's a bottom feed, dual action. Right now the action's a little frozen. I'm going to have to take it apart and clean her really well. Okay, comes with the hose. I got some extra parts thrown in here. I got some needles thrown in here. I got lots of parts for this airbrush because I used it a lot and I got used to using it. It's a good airbrush. I hear some people knocking the Paches. I don't. I like them. Okay, now that wasn't my first airbrush. My first airbrush was this guy. It was a single action. I like the single actions because I can spray enamel through them and have very little cleanup. I don't like spraying enamel through the double action. Simply because the internal mix, it's a mess to clean up. And sometimes it's hard to get the enamel out of there. And that's part of the reason why this is locked up right now. It got some stuff in it I don't like. I can clean it out. It's not a big deal. A little lacquer thinner through there and that's going to be working good. Alright, but I like the single actions because they are easy to clean. The fluid mixes right there in the tip. Okay, now today I am not using either one of these. Okay, I have this that I won in the big spring contest. It's a Badger. It's a gravity feed, not a gravity feed. Yeah, it's a gravity feed instead of a suction feed. It's a Badger 105 Patriot. Haven't used it yet. I did put a quick release on it, just like I got a quick release here on the VL. That way I can swap them out anytime I want. Have not used this. Okay, I hear a lot of good reviews about it, and again, I won this in the spring contest. Looks like it's going to be a nice airbrush. We're not going to find out today. Here's why. What I want to do on Desslok's is paint some pre-shading. And I want to use something a little bit better than this. I was cruising around the internet and found this guy. Okay? I did a lot of research, read a lot of reviews, and it seems like this is going to be a really good airbrush. And I was looking around on the internet and I found this thing for right at $100. And my understanding is this is a much more expensive airbrush. This is what we're going to be using today. I want to give this a try. Haven't tried it yet. Want to see how well it works. Alright, I'm also going to try something I haven't used before. I'm going to try some Vallejo Model Air paints. We're just doing this for pre-shading. We're doing this to mess around to see how I like them. I've got plenty of the Model Airs. That's not the color I'm going to use. I'm going to reset everything in a minute. Okay? But I want to try this guy out in the Spider-Man Super Power Punch Bubble Bath is what I'm going to try it on. That bottle. I know, what am I doing with the bubble bath bottle? It was at the dollar store. Anyhow, let me pause this for a few minutes. Let me get everything set up, and I'll show you how it works. Oh, my air compressor came with the Pache VL. I just bought a starter set. So I'm using a Pache air compressor. Works really well. I have no complaints. I've been thinking about upgrading, but I haven't had a reason to upgrade yet. So I'll be back in a few minutes. Alright, I got the Sotar hooked up. She has air. Okay, never used this before. I have some Vallejo olive green. Yeah, I'm going to have to fix this. I've moved the air compressor onto a shelf, and it's really, really loud. I'll fix that in a little bit. Usually the air compressor's not that loud. It's just vibrating the whole shelf. Okay, and again, I've never used this airbrush before, and I've never used this paint before. We got her good and shook up. I'm only going to put a drop or two in the color cup. Okay, and I want to see how this works. So I'm going to put 2 drops in the color cup. There's 2 drops. And we're going to use this thing until it feeds out. Alright, and that used all that paint up right away. Interesting. Okay. We're going to do that again. I'm going to have to fix that. That's annoying as loud as that is. Okay, I put 5 drops this time, so I can get some use of this thing. And it works just like the VL. Let's see if there's any adjustments I can do with her. I'm sure there is, but I don't know the adjustments on this airbrush. That should be a stop. I'm going to have to read the manual before I go playing with that, because that just doesn't feel right. But she works fairly well. It's spraying the green paint. She works just like my other one. Interesting. Alright guys, I'll be back. I'll come back once I've got some things figured out.